All right, boys. Welcome to the
User left your channel.
monthly training for November. We will have more people coming in soon enough, but I'm just getting some basic information across. Somebody's microphone is leaking. Dushman, your microphone is leaking a little bit. Okay, so just some basic information. First things first, for all the new people as well as for the people who have been joining us for a few missions now, we are going to talk a little bit about the Orbat. The Orbat is the screen that comes up when you first load into the server. So you load up the game, you click on Join ISD server, and then you put in the password, and then there is a screen that comes up, right? So that screen is the Orbat selection screen. So that screen somewhat looks like this. If you guys pay attention to the thing right here. 1 second, let me just load up. Yeah, there we go. So if you zoom up a little bit, you should be able to see the screen. Everybody able to see the screen?
Yep.
All right,
Yes,
fantastic. Okay, so this is what the screen looks like. I'm just going to give you a quick tour in case you don't know, and what the SOP is with regard to this specific screen from here on after. So first things first, if you pay attention, it says roles for Bluefo on the top, right? And under that, you've got slots for each category, right? So if you guys pay attention to the left labels, there is something called read calls, squad call signs. So right above all the roles, even in this case or in this case or in the cases further down, there will be a call sign for each specific squad. So in this case, let's say this is Alpha 1-1 right here. So Alpha 1-1 is the main infantry squad. And under that, under the read call signs, you'll see a check roll, right? So there is roles within each of these, right? So each of these are roles of their own. So for example, right now, this one, which is highlighted, is auto rifleman. And this one is a squad leader. This one is a rifleman, missile specialist, missile. So the reason we're telling you this is because it's self-explanatory, but some people... Kill switch. Can you stop with the stupid fucking drones? All right. So the reason we're telling you this is because whenever you come into the game, specifically for main missions, not for side missions, main missions is what we are currently talking about. You want to make sure that you select a role that, number one, you are qualified for, willing to do, and is available. All right. So in this case, let's say the Bull G, right? He decides to show up for the operation after selecting in the Discord. He comes up and he wants to play as a rifleman, so he will click on this slot and take it. Now, the things that he will have to remember, as will all of you have to remember, is that number one, I've selected an auto rifleman slot. I am under squad what? So in this case, the bull is under Alpha 1-1, as you can see from this particular
User joined your channel.
this particular call sign over here. And the last thing that he will have to kind of take note of is who is the squad leader. So sometimes he can join up a little bit early and this will be nobody, right? But if you guys take a look at your squad radars, the person who shows up as the first name on the top is your squad leader. So later on when somebody joins, the person whose name is at the highest is the squad leader. Get it? So you'll have to remember that you are part of 1-1 and your squad leader is whether somebody's connected, and you just have to remember who it is. So you can report to them later for your CAC check. CAC check is equipment and other accessories check, right? So anybody have any
User
doubt in
joined
this?
your channel.
No?
Yeah, how do I check my squad?
User joined your
leader
channel.
Or whatever it is you were
Sorry?
talking about?
Sorry?
The squad leader that you were talking about. How do I check my
User
leader?
disconnected from
So
your channel.
you see a big radar towards the bottom of your screen where it says yeah. So on the right side, you see a list of names.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So on the name which
User
is going to
joined
be
your
on
channel.
the top left. So this can get segregated into 3 different columns later on when there are more people in your squad. But
Sure.
normally it will get segregated into 2 in the case of a 8 sized element. So the guys whose name is at the highest at the top is the squad leader in most
Got it.
cases. Get it?
Got it, yeah.
And also they will have like a specific icon, but you'll get used to that later on. As for now, you just have to remember these things. As if you guys can read over here, I'm just going to narrate it. So with the Orbat, when you load in, make sure to note and remember these 3. That is your slot, where the slot, your squad call sign. Monas, microphone.
Oh shit, sorry, wait.
All right. So you want to make sure you remember your
User joined your channel.
squad, the squad that you're joining. You want to remember which role that you have selected, and you want to make sure squad leader, which squad you've selected, and so those three. Okay. Last thing to kind of very importantly remember: do not, under any circumstance, select a role that you're unqualified for or do not want to do. So, for example, let's say the Bull G, he hasn't joined us for a main operation yet, so therefore he's not qualified to, let's say, squad lead, right? And if he selects this slot, that denies a qualified person to be able to select that slot and lead that team. Get it? So make sure that you always select a slot that you're qualified for or you want to do. Next is in a scenario where all the slots that you either want to do or are... One second. Sorry. Let's move up. Yeah. So this is the next slide. If you guys pay attention.
Check. In addition to this, make sure the squads are evenly distributed.
Yeah. That's part of this one. That's part of this slide. Okay. So the last thing that last thing you want to remember as far as the Orbat is concerned for your case is if you don't have a role that you're willing to do or not qualified for, you can scroll down and there will be a section called reserves and recruits, right? So reserves and recruits are for people who want to be as reserves, specifically for roles that they don't want to do. So they can select any of these and can be put into a variety of different roles. Or if you're a new person, completely new, who doesn't know which squad to join and all that, you can just directly select, come down, find the reserves and recruits, and then select this specific one, right? So reserves, if no unspecified slots or unsure, make sure to notify the platoon leader or the HQ the moment you have selected one of these. So if I come in as, let's say, this thing, I will go to my my platoon leader and tell him that I am a reserve. Please put me in one of the squads or put me in a role that is required. Now, the notes that you need to remember, not too complicated. There are only 3 notes that you need to remember with this one, is to make sure that you try to balance out the squads. So this is in respect to the last slide as well. So in case, let's say you are seeing that 1-1 has got 6 members and 1-2 has got only 3 members, and the role that you want to do or are willing to do are available both in 1-1 and 1-2. Try to balance those squads out. So make sure you select, try to balance out the squads. In that way, we are able to get Oscar Mike as soon as possible, and we don't have to waste 40 minutes of organizing after the briefing. All right. Second is with this system, we hope to minimize the time it takes from brief to the infill Oscar Mike. So till the time that we have to leave from base after we've received the briefing, we are trying to minimize the time. That's why this is an important notice. And that is why we're discussing this in this particular
User
meeting.
joined your channel.
Last, you have to remember, until special circumstances prevail, you will be part of the squad that you selected. So if I select part of squad 1-1, that basically will always, until otherwise expected and told to me, always be part of squad 1-1. All right. So anybody have any questions related to the Orbat? Okay, we move ahead. All right, fantastic. I'm going to take that as a no.
Yeah. Full form of Orbat?
It's order of battle, right? Okay. So order of battle is the way that you head into battle. So in this case, like it would be platoon, then platoon leader, then squad leaders for each. Anyway, that's not important. Everybody understood the GUI and how to select roles and what is important and what is not. All right.
Bonus is a doubt.
Monus, no. Monus is microphone muted. And all right. Okay. Next is we're going to talk about a new feature that has recently been implemented. The reason we're going to talk about this specific mod that we've just added is because it's going to be very important. It's going to be very important to the training that we're going to take today. That is the small CQB session that we're going to do. So the walk mod allows us to walk like this. So normally what would happen is in case you were running around, in case you were going into battle, you would be either running, going in combat pace, right? Or if you have your weapon up, you'll be sort of trotting like this, right? So the reason we have this is to enable and allow us to be more stable and be able to improve the accuracy we have when we want to walk fast. So 1 second. Sorry, Monas has a doubt about the last part. What really does a reserve do after he selects the reserve? No, he doesn't sit around in the fob. He gets assigned to a specific squad. That's why he has to speak to the platoon leader the moment he selects that. So when you find the platoon leader or the HQ, the person who's made the mission, and they will assign you to a role or whatever. Okay, moving on. So to activate the walking speed mod, you put your weapon up, as is the case why you would want to do this. You hold shift, and then you scroll wheel up. Sorry, I've written shift here. It's control. I'm really sorry. It's control and scroll wheel up. All right. So you want to do control and scroll wheel up all the way up until the point that this part in the GUI on the top right of your screen shows walking speed increased to 170. Everybody understand?
Right.
Yeah. So what this will do is allow you to move like this. Get it? And I will explain why this is important, but you just need to remember that you can do this. This is a feature now. You can do control, scroll wheel up until the point that this thing shows 170, and you can walk like this. Get it? All right. Beautiful. Next, let's move up to why this is important. So if you guys pay attention to this specific slide over here, there are specific benefits over here. I'm going to move on to this side just so I can read them all out and not repeat myself. We will get to this part over here as a reiteration of what has been explained here. So number one, very important benefit is reduced weapon sway and bob. So sway is your up and down and bob is your left and right. So reduced sway and bob for your movement when you're moving into an active engagement. Improved ability to make out enemy movements even in difficult visibility. So when you're moving with walking speed 170, since you don't have that kind of a bob and shake, you're able to make out enemy moving across your POV, across